Good morning. My voice is not so great. Back of my throat. Today is 1,213 days. We're going to read the daily reflections, December 18th. Now, this is literature from the AA program. I've used part of traditional recovery, so AA, as well as other forms of recovery, and created my own. And so today is over 1,213 days. So this book is each day it has a little reading and then it has a reflection. So this is today's. Honesty with newcomers. Tell him exactly what happened to you. Stress the spiritual feature freely. The marvel of the 12-step program is that I tell you only what happened to me. I don't waste time offering advice to potential newcomers. For if advice worked, nobody would get to AA. All I have to do is show what has brought me sobriety and what has changed my life. If I fail to stress the spiritual feature of AA's program, I am being dishonest. The newcomer should not be given a false impression of sobriety. I am only sober through the grace of my higher power, and that makes it possible for me to share with others. And so that's what it's about. So on this channel, I do my best to not give you guys advice. Share my experience of what it was like, what happened over the years, how I finally got off the booze, and what it's like now. I give you my perspective, and when I share, I try to share without even giving suggestions, by just sharing my experience. And so when you're listening, listen with those ears and with that perspective. And that's how I'm trying to share with you of really what life was like when I couldn't stop drinking. And now that I have stopped for over 3 years, what life's like now. So thanks for being here. Mark Simpson, thank you for being here. Waleed, thank you for being here. Today is December 18th. Why are you tripping if I have a robe on? This is my clothing. Oh my God. You guys are too much in the comments this morning. What's up, Waleed? What's your question? Thank you. I am goofy. Yes, you can ask, but I may not answer. I don't sell Xanny bars, Cody. You can leave now. Waleed, I don't know what you mean. So this is going to be page 86 of the big book. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance. For after all, God gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives. So, this book is an instruction guide. It has clear instructions of what we need to do. No, $100 is not enough, Lenny. Put another zero in there. Put a comma and a zero. Send it, friends and family, and then maybe we'll talk about some peanut butter. Lenny, I don't even care if you're serious or not. That made me laugh. So that's not part of my plan for the day. But if the price is right. In thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. Here we ask God for inspiration, an intuitive thought, or a decision. We relax and take it easy. We don't struggle. We are often surprised how the right answers come to us after we have tried for a while. What used to be a hunch or occasional inspiration usually becomes a working part of the mind. Being still inexperienced and having just made a conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more on the plane of inspiration. We come to rely upon it. We usually conclude the period of meditation that our prayer be shown throughout the day what our next step is to be, that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom of self-will. And we are careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped. We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us have wasted a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't work. You can see why. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful, and we ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves that we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. We do not tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. There's a lot of good stuff there so far. Okay, let's read beginning of Step 11. This is the 12 and 12. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with our higher power, or God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his power, for his will for us, and the power to carry that out. Prayer and meditation are our principal means of conscious contact with God. We are active folk, enjoying the satisfactions of dealing with the realities of life, usually for the first time in our lives, and strenuously trying to help the next alcoholic who comes along. So it isn't surprising that we often tend to slight serious meditation and prayer as something not as really necessary. To be sure, we feel it is something that might not help us to meet an occasional emergency. But at first, many of us are apt to regard it as somewhat mysterious skill of clergymen from which we may hope to get a second-hand benefit. Or perhaps we don't believe in these things at all. So we're reading step 11 out of the 12 and 12, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. To certain newcomers and to those one-time agnostics who still cling to the group as their higher power, claims for the power of prayer may, despite all the logic and experience and proof of it all, still being unconvincing or quite objectionable.